What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So the man known as Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., is on a tour right now in which he's doing a meet and greet. He's doing some interviews, signing some autographs, hugging and kissing some babies, right? With that said, Floyd Mayweather Jr. obviously is going to be asked some questions, right? Regarding his career and what's going on in the current state of the sport of boxing, right? In which Floyd Mayweather, was asked who's the best fighter in the world right now. Floyd Mayweather went on to say that Gervonta Tank Davis is the most exciting fighter in the world. And I would beg to differ that, because majority of the people will feel like Deontay Wilder is the most exciting fighter in the world. He cited that Gervonta Tank Davis has 21 knockouts in 22 fights. He's undefeated. He's a rising star in the sport, rising superstar in the sport. Deontay Wilder, obviously, has knocked out every opponent he's ever faced, including Tyson Fury. Now, he dropped him twice. The last fight, obviously, that wasn't the case. Nonetheless, he goes on and he says that Terence Crawford is the best fighter in the world over Errol Spence. And then he says, he likes Terence Crawford's style. He likes what Terence Crawford brings to the table. And my thing is this. The reason why I believe Floyd Mayweather does this, and now there could be always, you could look and dig deeper and say, well, if he's Mayweather Promotions and the PBC are their partners, then why would he choose him over, fighters that, are under his banner, so to speak, right? And I'm going to say this. Floyd Mayweather was giving his honest opinion. And why did he choose Terence Crawford over Errol Spence? I'm going to tell you why. For the same reason he chose Tyson Fury over Deontay Wilder. Because he can't identify with that style, with that of Errol the True Spence Jr., who's undefeated, unified welterweight, world champion, southpaw pressure fighter, and sparred Floyd Mayweather and gave Floyd Mayweather all types of trouble and all types of fits in sparring. And so with that said, there could be, underlying bitterness there towards Errol Spence. But from my understanding, they were cool. But he could identify with the stylistically, of Terence Crawford more so of Errol Spence. So what he identifies with is what he's going to choose. Mike Tyson chooses punchers, right? Now we know there's some sort of disdain towards Deontay Wilder that comes from Floyd Mayweather for whatever reason. Paulie Malignaggi is another guy, right? He identifies with that style of Tyson Fury. He identifies and sides with the boxer because that's what he is. Floyd Mayweather is a boxer, right? He's not a pressure fighter. He's not a big welterweight. He's rangy. He's a thinker. And that's not what Errol Spence relates to Floyd Mayweather. You understand? Errol Spence is a high guard, come forward, pressure fighter, break you down, get you out of there. That's not Floyd Mayweather. Now, Errol Spence did show us in the fight with Mikey Garcia that obviously he had the ability to box. He went to the Olympics, right? So, of course he has the ability to box, right? With that said, there's a lot of talk and there was a lot of chatter about Errol Spence gave Floyd Mayweather all types of fits in sparring. Errol Spence even blackened Floyd Mayweather's eye, right? Errol Spence was kicked out the Mayweather gym by Floyd Mayweather Sr. for the success he was having on Floyd Mayweather ahead of Floyd Mayweather's fight. And so they didn't like that. And so with that said, obviously, like I stated, Floyd Mayweather is gonna side with the boxer, and yes, maybe there is some underlying disdain towards or feelings towards Errol Spence, because of all the talk with sparring, because of all of the chatter that he had all this success, and if they fought in the pros, that Errol Spence would beat him. The competitive nature of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather choosing these fighters outside his banner, it's rare because Floyd Mayweather usually, sides with his fighters, right? He always sides with the guys on his side of the fence, so to speak, right? And so in this case, in this situation, he went in a different direction. But if you notice, Floyd Mayweather has a relationship with Terence Crawford as well, right? Floyd Mayweather just was with Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. Floyd Mayweather respects Terence Crawford and the ability of Terence Crawford and what Terence Crawford brings to the table, right? So, of course, you're going to have, a guy that it seems that he developed more of a relationship with, Terence Crawford than currently with Errol Spence. I don't know how much a relationship he ever had with Errol Spence. I know that him and Errol Spence had their sparring session, and they've been linked since their sparring session. And Errol Spence, trained at the Mayweather gym, and things of that nature. So surely there's probably some underlying disdain. And I don't believe that he want to see Errol Spence harmed or anything of that nature. But his competitive nature is going to side with Terence Crawford because he identifies with Terence Crawford. He don't truly have a history with Terence Crawford as far as their sparring sessions and things of that nature, and the approach, right? So like I stated, Floyd Mayweather, doesn't seem to be too eager to pass the baton to the young up-and-coming fighters in this generation, right? It's like he's still holding on. He don't understand it's a relay race, right? He still think he in a marathon. No, it's a relay race, bro. You got to pass the baton. But at least he passed the baton to somebody, Terence Crawford, But my thing with Floyd Mayweather is, after all of that, Floyd Mayweather would still cite issues that they have, like a weakness, and then say, because I don't have that problem. So, sometimes you got to take it with a grain of salt when Floyd Mayweather credits anybody, because tomorrow he could discredit that same person he credited and say, well, I don't have that issue. I never had that issue, so, I can't identify with that. So that's just the manner that Floyd Mayweather is. But this is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. Make no mistake about it. Floyd Mayweather knows that this is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Everything Floyd Mayweather does and says is strategic. And don't believe that Floyd Mayweather didn't strategically choose Terence Crawford as the best fighter in the world. Like I said, he got identified with his style. And, like I said before, Manny Pacquiao, beating Terence Crawford or fighting Terence Crawford is a consolation prize if he could beat him, because, that's the closest stylistically that he could get to Floyd Mayweather, not fighting Floyd Mayweather, right? And without fighting Floyd Mayweather. So, Floyd Mayweather, I'm sure, would favor Terence Crawford to beat Errol Spence, because that's a style that's more similar to his style of fighting than that of Errol Spence. And then, it's a barometer. You understand? Errol Spence couldn't beat this style. How would he ever have beaten Floyd Mayweather? You understand what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather always say sparring is sparring. And when you get under the lights, it's a total different story. And I agree with him when he says that. But I do believe that there is definitely some underlying, competitive nature that he just don't want to give Errol Spence too much props, because then on the flip side of that, people will say, oh, he giving him that props because Errol worked him in sparring. You understand what I'm saying? And he don't want to discredit him too much, because then it's like, you discredit him because he gave you that work in sparring. You understand what I'm saying? People don't understand that sparring is sparring, and when you get under them lights, it's a whole different ball game. But yet, you know, that's a barometer. We use the triangle theory in the sport of boxing because it's an individual sport. It's not a team sport. So we like to say, well, he beat this guy. I want to see him beat this guy. Well, he couldn't beat this guy, so how could he beat this guy? You understand? That's just the way it goes in the sport of boxing, right? So you could you know I could understand that Floyd Mayweather identifies with his style, but I could also understand that Floyd Mayweather competitive nature and with all the talking of rumors and reports of the Errol Spence sparring sessions and getting the best of them. It's no coincidence that he chose Terence Crawford as the best fighter in the world, right? There's no coincidence. It's strategic, trust me. But this is the biggest fight in the world, Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. And I guarantee you, if this fight get made and somebody asks Floyd Mayweather who he favor, he's gonna say Terence Crawford. So, but hopefully this fight get made sooner rather than later. I don't believe it's gonna happen next. But hopefully this fight gets made sooner rather than later, because this is a huge fight in the sport of boxing, and it would be an absolute shame if one of these guys takes a loss and the fight don't pan out and don't live up to what it could be. You know, like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Now they both have losses. Both got stopped in the 7th round. You know, so now that fight has lost its luster, and now if these guys don't stay on their winning ways, it could end up like Mayweather-Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez, and that changed the texture. That changed the fight forever. Believe it. It changed it, right? It didn't have the same luster because we saw Manny Pacquiao get knocked out, and so obviously we seen this before. You know, we knew he got knocked out prior to that. We saw him get outboxed by Eric Morales. So now it's like the aura of invincibility and the only man to be able to dethrone Floyd Mayweather kind of subsided. So, you know, hopefully that's not the case in this situation with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, because make no mistake about it, Errol Spence is going up against more than likely Danny Garcia. That's a tough out. And then he's going to go up against possibly Manny Pacquiao. Another tough out. There's no foregone conclusion that he's going to win those fights, right? And I don't know who Terence Crawford is going to fight, because his level of opposition is at a premium. You know, so he doesn't have many choices. So let's see if he could land a big opponent. Everybody wants to see Terence Crawford and Sean Porter. If he fights Sean Porter, it's no foregone conclusion that Terence Crawford is going to win that fight against Sean Porter. So, you know, hopefully this fight gets made sooner rather than later. And that way, when they place, you know, in the ring, nobody took a loss. They're at their absolute best. Their confidence is at an all-time high. Nobody knows how to lose. And then that's a barn burner. Then it would be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. But if one of them take a loss, it could definitely lose its luster. So hopefully this fight get made sooner rather than later. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hit like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.